Next, a spirited mission to give other families new promise.
We have a network of scientists all over the world.
And the progress in the constant quest for a cure.
And that gives a great...
After the death of his son James a little over 7 years ago, Sid Burrell is still grieving the loss. On top of the tombstone, toy trains have been placed by someone who was touched by James's spirit. He died of neuroblastoma, a brutal childhood cancer that killed his body, but not his spirit.
But for me, James saying, "I'm always going to be fighting cancer," meant keep going, Dad. Keep going for the other kids.
And so it became Sid's mission to give other parents the hope he didn't have. That's when he met this man, David Kaplan, a scientist with an equally fervent wish.
Our goal is that a child should never get cancer again. And it's just so devastating just to see a child suffer.
Thank you for giving money to help people like me fight cancer.
Remember that $30,000 that James raised at the church 9 months before he died? It went here, to the Hospital for Sick Children in Toronto, where Dr. Kaplan works, and where the James Burrell Lab was born. The mission is do whatever it takes to find a cure.
The fund had started, it was nascent, it was small, but the idea was there, the kernel of the idea, which is let's take risks.
The first step, try to find out what makes neuroblastoma so deadly. Why is it that when doctors kill the tumors, the cancer keeps coming back? And fueled by the James Fund, the scientists went looking for answers.
These are the tumor cells from a child that will wake up maybe in 2 months or 2 years and kill the child. Within these clumps are the queen bee cells.
A major find. These appear to be the cells that aren't killed by conventional treatments, the cells that make neuroblastoma so difficult to eradicate.
If we can kill these cells, it gives us an indication that we can kill the most dangerous tumor cells that will come back and eventually kill the child.
And what would kill these queen bee cells? Standard drug discovery takes 10 years or longer, time some children just don't have. Instead, Dr. Kaplan and his team are using the James Fund to look at existing drugs, malaria drugs, transplant drugs, even one of the chemicals found in mouthwash for possible treatments.
And the reason why this is important is if we find something in our medicine cabinet that kills these cells, then we can immediately go into children and see if it works for their tumors.
So if we were to explain that standard science moves at about 10 miles an hour, how fast are you going now?
Well, for us, it's 100 miles an hour.
The lab is now testing thousands of drugs on those queen bee cells, some of which it was never imagined could be used in cancer patients. And where it might take a decade to get a drug from bench to bedside, they can get an experimental medication into patients in as little as 3 months.
Okay, I think this will work now.
It's high-risk research that's giving children like Christiana Lawrence hope.
I want the pink one.
She was first diagnosed with neuroblastoma when she was 5. She's now 12, having gone through more than 40 rounds of chemotherapy, radiation, a bone marrow transplant, and surgery. Her mother, Lillian Lawrence.
Because Christiana has relapsed twice, we see now that there are new things, new drugs to try, and each time it's not so scary because relapsing is not, they're not saying nothing is happening. They're not saying there's nothing left to try, and that gives a great hope.
For her part, Christiana makes keychains and decorates pens to raise even more money for the James Fund.
How long does it take you to make that?
Not very long.
In fact, every month now there's a fundraiser where Sid gets his message out.
So although you're here to have fun and play volleyball and go crazy, you've actually contributed to some world-breaking research that is going to save a lot of kids' lives.
There are fundraising concerts that Sid Burrell conducts himself. And from that first $30,000, the James Fund has now raised over $3 million and is spearheading an international effort to find a cure. One of the drugs scientists have uncovered has shown such promise, it's already being used in patients, and scientists are waiting to see if it puts their neuroblastoma into permanent remission.
We have a network of scientists all over the world who are now helping us on this project. Somebody might have a drug in a laboratory in Italy that we don't know about, and that might be the magic bullet.
James Burrell has another legacy. He was the first patient ever to venture into these labs.
So we'll just stay right around, cluster right over here.
Now, it's a regular event for patients, their families, and donors.
For us, it's really important that the families see the scientists. What do scientists do, and what are we doing for them? And this is something that all of us really believe in. And from behind the scenes, the families never know that. They often feel alone. They never get to see the research side.
This is what we call a pipette, and what it does is measure really small volumes of cells.
We're really trying hard to find things that, as soon as possible, we can try to get into children.
I can see ya.
Out of one boy's tragedy has come a powerful fundraising organization that's giving parents hope, doctors new tools, and kids with neuroblastoma a future.
Can you see anything? Yeah? Balls of cells?
What do you have here?
James's doctor, Sylvain Barachel.
But the James family have been able to make from a disaster a fantastic enterprise, bringing hope to all these children who suffer from high-risk neuroblastoma. That's the message.
That's a sharp eraser you got there.
And James remains a source of inspiration.
What do you think James would have thought if he were here today?
He would be thrilled at all the wonderful people, thrilled at the thought that we're getting close to saving people's lives. And I bet you he would have been a big part of it.
But it is his legacy.
It is his legacy, and that's one of the tortures, is to wonder what my son would be like at 15 years.
But the idea is to give other parents that opportunity.
Yes, yes, all those heroic parents who are fighting right now, and those who don't know they're going to be fighting, I want them to know that their kids have a future. I don't want them to go through what we've gone through.
James's story even caught the eye of a Hollywood star. Tom Hanks was so touched, he became an honorary patron of the James Fund. And scientists hope that their research into neuroblastoma will help them treat other cancers too. That's why James's parents are expanding their fundraising to ensure his legacy helps all those who are fighting cancer. We'll be right back.